What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your bodyweight strength class with myself, Christian, and Dottie. We're going to be taking you through a full body workout, including push, pull, and a ton of trunk work. If you don't already have the equipment that you require for this class, please press pause and read underneath, because underneath will tell you everything that you need. If you're short on any of the equipment, we will make it work by giving you adjustments where possible. We are going to begin with a stick. If Dots grabs a stick. If you don't have a stick, you can use a long band, you can use a belt, you can use a jumper. Just grab the sleeves of it and make it work for you. All right, it's all about being adaptable in these times. So, I'm going to come into a stick dislocate. You're going to pull the stick up and over. Try not to bend in the elbows. Now, Dottie has a lot of rotation through her shoulders, so you might need to take your hands nice and wide. Little engagement through your trunk, little squeeze, and you're finding rotations through this position, all right? Finding lots of space, opening through that pec attachment and rolling through. Excellent. You're in here for another sort of 15 seconds. Keep making that space, opening through. If it feels okay, bring your hands a little bit tighter. If you are using a jumper, make sure you're pulling it apart to create tension or torque. For 5, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Place that onto your back and step side on the mat for them, Dots. Good. You're going to take a straddle position here. Toes forwards, heels facing backwards. You're going to push your bum backwards, drive your chest forwards, and then come back up and squeeze through your hips. Excellent. Couple more like that. Driving the bum backwards, keeping the spine nice and long rather than curving and rounding. Pushing the bum backwards, opening through that chain and driving through. Couple more. Today is a strength class, so please treat it as such. You may not get huge amounts of rest, but feel free to instigate a little bit more. I will give you options on your timings as to whether you want to work for a shorter period or a longer period. Next time you go into that fold, stay there, and you're going to rotate your spine towards the floor, almost like a golfer's stretch. You always see golfers doing a couple of these before swinging the club. Try and find that, but try and hold that position. You're in here for another 5, and you're going to stand back up again before returning back to this position. 2, 1, standing back up. Beautiful. This time you're going to come down into that fold and then press your hands in front of you and pull them back in and stand back up. Excellent. These are pretty tricky. Try and push above head height, so you're looking at end range shoulder. Beautiful. If you can do it, bring your hands a little bit closer. It ain't easy though. It really ain't easy. But overhead flexion is super important. Most people to get into overhead flexion have to compensate through thoracic spine and through hip. Finding that end range for our shoulder is great. Give me one more. Stay out in that push. Beautiful. Press that stick away from you as hard as you can. Push your bum backwards for 5, for 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Awesome. Stick can go back, and we're going to come into some sumo squats. For a sumo squat, think about normal hip width, and then probably come to 1.5 that. Then turn your toes out to 10 and 2. And then you're going to try and drop down into your squat with your knee tracking over your middle toe, chest staying up. Drive back up. Excellent. If it's okay, you can take your feet wider and your toes wider. Dots is already a pretty wide stance here. All right, you might have to be way off this. That doesn't matter as long as your knees are tracking out. Beautiful. Great job, gang. For another 10, you're going to stay in the bottom of the last one you do. Keep going for another 5. You always find a little bit more space than you think. All right, next time you go down, stay there. Beautiful. Try and sink and drop. Awesome. Beautiful. If that's horrible, stay there. If you can do a few more, arms come down, arms come up. Excellent. Just for 10. Beautiful. For 5. 3. You're going to come down onto all fours. 2, 1. Beautiful. Come down onto all fours. Excellent. We're just going to take some wrist rolls. Making big hands. You're going to take circles around those wrists. Trying to create space. Now don't worry if you don't have a huge amount of space through the wrist, but you're trying to create that. Often overlooked, all right? 1/4 of the bones in your body are in your hands, so making sure you move correctly around them is important. Change direction. Beautiful. For another 5, you're going to come into upright kneeling, so staying on both your knees, but bringing your torso up. 2, 1, bring yourself up. Make fists, and pull them like you're revving double arm motorcycle. Rev them, and now try and release all your hand towards your head. Good. Pulling the tops of your fingers towards you, firing through. Good. Bring it back down. Turn the rev. Good. Rev it back up. Unfold those knuckles. Beautiful. Collapse them. Take them down. Beautiful. Couple more. Each time pulling those hands towards your face, looking at those nails, driving it back down. Beautiful. You're going to give me 2 more, and then you're going to make stars and fists nice and fast. We're going to try and get a burn in your forearm. When you next get up, make stars, make fists, and do it nice and fast. You want a nice burn in your forearm until everything's going, yeah. For another 5. Staying in this kneeling position, 2, 1, shake them out. Before you come off there, staying in here, push your hands in front of you, suck your belly button in slightly to find this posterior tilt, squeeze your bum. Now push your hands as far forward as you can. Beautiful. Notice how when Dots does this, she gets this like protraction in her shoulder blade, so the middle of her spine rounds slightly. If I tell you to push the floor today, this is what I mean. Try and do this overhead. Try not to kick your ass out though. So you might not come all the way back. Your hand might still be vertically in front of you. Now push and raise the roof. Imagine trying to lift the roof off of your apartment, your gym. I'd say the park, but that doesn't have a roof. For another 5, 3, 2, 1. Shake them out. Beautiful. I'm going to come into a high plank press up position. All right. Thumbs facing towards one another, middle fingers facing forwards. If you struggle with that as a wrist, you can turn your wrist out ever so slightly so your fingers sort of face towards the top edges of your mat. Whatever works for you in that position. Beautiful. I just want you to take some rocks forwards and backwards in that position, like you're trying to drive your heels down towards the floor, and you're trying to drive your shoulders forwards. Again, just getting through those wrists and stabilizing through the shoulders. For another 5. For another 3, you're going to step your left foot outside your left hand. 2, 1. Left foot outside left hand. Excellent. Left hand's going to come to the back of your head. Left elbow is going to come to right elbow, and then rotate nice and big. Good, like the sprinkler dance that everyone used to embarrassingly do when we were younger. Beautiful. Couple more. Drive it through. Beautiful. Give me 2 more. Then you're going to step your left foot back to the back of your mat and walk back into a squat sit. 2. Nice. Step the left foot back, walk back into your squat sit, and just spend a moment there. You can bounce, you can rock, do whatever you want to do. Don't worry if it's not perfect. I love to tell people to move intuitively in this position. Once you kind of get the idea of it, moving intuitively, you know what you need. Just for another 5 seconds, you're going to walk back out to that high plank and step your right foot outside your right hand. 2, 1. Walk it out. Right foot outside the right hand behind the head, right elbow towards left elbow, sprinkler. Find that big rotation. And when you find that rotation, push through your left hand. All right, get used to pushing as you rotate through that thoracic spine. You're going to give me uno más, 1 more. Take that foot back to the back of your mat, walk back into your squat sit. All right, push your eyes up so you can watch what Dots is going to do here. We're going to be in a press-up position. She's going to step or jump both her feet outside her hands. And she's going to roll onto her back into what we call a candlestick and roll back forward into a squat sit. Good, she's going to plant the hands, jump the feet back to high plank, not losing the hip, and repeat. Dots, just show one where using your hands to get behind the candlestick. So roll back. You can push the floor to help yourself get up. Awesome, we've got 30 seconds of that, play around with it. Not rushing, just quality. Pop those feet forward, try and land soft on the heels, roll back, punch your feet into the floor to stand back up. Awesome. Great job. In order to get into that candlestick, into that squat, you've got to fight with your shoulders to pull them towards your knees as you sit up. All right, so it's a good core drill as well as hip mobility, ankle mobility, all of the goodness. You've got another 7 seconds. You've got another 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Nice. Good. Grab a drink of water if you need one whilst I explain what up. We've got a 3-station superset to begin with. We are working on our legs, but the whole time our shoulder and thoracic mobility. We're working on core, and we are working option of either a hang position or a prone swimmer, which is like mid-spine and all sorts of goodness. Exercise number 1 is an overhead squat. You're going to take a stick or your jumper, your band, or whatever it is, take it above your head. Okay, now the wider your hands are here, the easier it is. So start wide and bring yourself back in. The whole idea here is that the stick is landing on top of the crown of the head. If you have loads of mobility, you might be able to take it a bit further back, but let's just try and stay around that crown position, trying not to allow the arms to fall forward. You're going to drop down into a squat. And now the temptation here is to rock forwards, right? Like this, okay? You're going to try and pin them back, push through the feet, and stand up. Excellent. You've got 40 seconds of that. Now the idea is that there's a nice bit of glass in front of you here. You can see your breath on the glass, but you can't break the glass. Show them one more, Dots. Beautiful. Done properly, it is bloody hard. I'm going to show you a version of how to advance it on the round 2, but for the most part, that's going to be you. Now you should have 2 bricks with you for this session, or a way of elevating. If those are impossible, elevate your heels and do them like that, okay? Then you're going to use those bricks and you're going to come into a three-legged dog to hover. Hands go on these bricks. If you don't have bricks when you're at the gym, use like weighted plates or dumbbells that are sturdy. You're going to do a three-legged dog. That's when we lift one heel towards the sky, recruiting through the rear glute. Then pull the heel to the bum, knee towards the belly, roll through, and she's going to try and hover the foot between the bricks. That is exceptional. Roll back to three-legged dog. Come back through, hover. Good, rest there. Now don't worry if you don't get your foot all the way through, all right? That's not a problem. You can set these higher to make it easier. Just make sure they're stable for your wrists. The main thing I care about is as you roll through, you're putting the top of your thigh into your abs, all right? So that's what you're kind of thinking, this position here. All right, you're gonna do 20 seconds on one arm, one leg, 20 seconds on the other leg. You can then do a swimmer. This is for 30 seconds. All right, we're going to do we've got two exercises here. We're going to put them together. The first one is an end range shoulder lift off. Forehead's going to stay on the floor. Arms going to lift as high as you can. Okay, that's rep 1. You then come down, lift the body, pull the hands towards the side, elbows towards the side of the body, back down. Good. End range shoulder lift up. Arm comes up, hands come down. Swimmer. Squeezing the bum, legs are staying on the floor, mid-spine working. All right, relax there. So we've got 40 seconds of the overhead squat. Then you've got like 10 seconds to find your hover. If I were you, I'd set everything up so you're ready to roll. 20 seconds each side on the hover, 10 seconds rest. Swimmers, if you want to try something different and you have the capacity to do so at your gym, if you have rings or a bar, instead of the swimmers, you can passive hang. All right, in this hang position, I'm allowing my shoulders to come away from my ears. Ideally, it would be higher up so I wouldn't have to point my feet up, but I'm hanging in here. All right, those are your options, swimmer or hang. All righty. We're going to start in 15 seconds to give people time to grab their bits. First one is a stick. If you're using a jumper, don't let it go saggy in the middle. Same with a band. Don't let it go saggy. Pull out against it. If you need to grab it tighter, grab it tighter. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Excellent. This is not an easy drill. You might get spat out backwards. I fall out of these the whole time. I call it getting spat out because you fly back. If you do get spat out, it simply means you're trying to find that space. Don't worry if you're not going as low as dots, and if you need to, remember, raise those heels on something to make it work. Again, don't worry if your hands are falling forward slightly either, just fight, okay? Fight for that end range. You've had 25 seconds. You see so many people doing weighted overhead squats in the gym these days. It seems to be like this really popular drill with the weight above the head. I get them to do it with a stick and people can't do it. So don't load until you can move without the weight. 5, 3, 2, 1. Great job. You got about 10 seconds here. Hovers, all right? Three-legged dog. On that three-legged dog, squeeze the back of your glute. 2, 1, let's go. Squeeze that rear glute. Heel to bum, roll forward, sniff your knee, belly to thigh, flex toes. Excellent. Staying on that leg. Good job. Don't worry necessarily about how high you get at the back there, but I want your rear glute engaged. That's going to help for so many things, but abduction of that glute is super important. 3, 2, 1, change legs. Beautiful. Nice, nice. So notice at the front there, Dorothy's got her thigh pulling towards her abs. Like if I was to put something in there, she'd be able to squeeze it and crush it. All right? When I see people do this, that is the thing we mistake. We sort of drag our knee along the mat. Pull it in. All right? Don't worry if your foot doesn't come all the way through. That's not a problem. 3, 2, 1. Relax. There. Swimmers or hangs. Remember the swingers, there's two parts to the swimmers. You've got the end range lift off where your forehead stays down, everything stays squeezed. You lift your arms as high as they can. You then come down, squeeze your bum, keeping your legs on the floor, use your mid-back, pull the elbows to your side, and come through. This is 30 seconds. 2, 1, beautiful. End range lift off, down, swimmer. Option also to hang instead, passive hang. All right? I will give you an option of making the passive hang harder for the next round for anyone who does have that option. Beautiful. 15 seconds. Good. Try and breathe through your movements. I don't care where your inhale and exhale are, but try and inhale one way, exhale in the other way. It will help you. 2, 1, relax there. Nice. Good job. Alrighty. I'm going to pop off screen. Option for your squats. Now, I said people like to load these with a barbell. I hate the idea of loading these with a barbell unless you have really good movement integrity. However, loading with a dumbbell is okay because the worst thing that happens is that dumbbell falls forwards, okay? Dots is going to show you how to do it with one arm. I won't make you do any until we get to it. If you are going to do it, you're going to have your dumbbell above your head. You're going to drop in and drop back up, and you do 20 seconds each side. Otherwise, stay with the stick. 2, 1, let's go. Nice. Good. Beautiful job. So if you are someone who has previously loaded a barbell over your head, that's fine. Don't think like, God, I've been doing something wrong. It does allow you, because people say the arms really wide to compensate. But if that has been you, your arm's been really wide on a barbell, think, why have I had to go really wide here? And think, can I get into this position without a weight? Yes, change arms, halfway. You can get all the same goodness and benefits, body weight or super lightweight. Good. You'll have one side that doesn't like it quite as much as the other. It's the one you didn't want to do first. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice. See, you saw that Dottie has like basically perfect shape with the stick, and even with like just a small dumbbell, she's like at max capacity. So if you don't have perfect shape with the stick, you don't need a massive weight. Go to 3, 2, 1, let's go. Challenge yourself. Squeeze your rear glute harder this set. Pull harder this thigh into your abs this set. All right? Pushing the hands into those bricks when you get to the front. The drill we did in the warm-up when you were kneeling and you pushed your hands forward with a little protraction in your spine, that's what you're creating on the blocks here. All right? You've got 3 seconds. You're going to change legs. Nice. Now on your next rep, change legs. I spend so much time telling people to push the floor when it sounds like a ridiculous cue, push the floor. But you could always find more space. We often just sag into retraction. If you push the floor, you end up with like a centimeter longer arms, and that allows this space for this leg to come through. 3, 2, 1, relax there. Good. Swimmers or hangs. Gang, if you are doing the hang and you want to advance it slightly, you can pull it into a tuck position. You pull your knees towards your nipples, drive back away. Knees towards your nipples, back away. 3, 2, 1, let's go. End range lift off. Down, swimmer, elevate the chest. Beautiful, end range lift off. These are tricky to breathe on, gang, so if you need to take a little breath at the bottom, do so. Nice, so these end range lift offs, if you're the person with the stick who's falling forwards with those arms, these are great for you, all right? Condition that position. You've got 10 seconds. You've got 5, 3, 2, 1. Rest there. Lovely work. We've got one more round of these, all right? One more round. If you want to play a game with your stick to sort of work where you are, if you know that this is something you want to get better at, what I like to do is measure how far I can be from a wall, sorry to turn my back on you, without getting spat out, okay? So if I'm here, I'm fine, right? But then if I go like a bit close to the wall, I come down and I get spat back out, all right? That is a good note of where you are right now, and it's a good measurable. All right, so if that is something that you have the capacity to do it on this set. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Give me some. Nice. Good job, team. Beautiful work. People often look at the squat and just think of the squat. All right, in order to squat, you have ankle flexion, that's the knee traveling over the toe. You have hip flexion, which is the breaking of the hip towards the body. You have knee flexion, which is when the heel is coming towards the bum. Change arm. Thank you, Dorothy. I'm chatting too much. Nice. And you have spinal extension to stay upright. And here we're adding shoulder flexion as well. So breaking these things down, there's a lot of things at play. That's why having good movement capacity and understanding is vital for all movement. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. There. Good job. Last set of your hovers. Remember, push the floor. All right, longest arm contest. Push. Stay strong through there. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good. If you do have a way of making these higher, you can always make them higher. If they're sliding on the mat like these ones are slightly, it just makes it even more challenging. Just upgraded these to sliding hovers. And nice, change legs. Readjust them if they're getting out away from you. Excellent, gang. 15 seconds. Last time you're doing this. 7, 5. It looks so simple, but done with maximum capacity, it's horrible. 2, 1. Relax there. Great job. Fighting for those engagement on those is so important, right? You can half-ass those and get like some in, or you can fight for the engagement. Last set of end range swimmers or and lift-offs. If you want to advance the hangs even more, you can straight leg raise and come down, but I don't want to see any movement through the upper body. 2, 1, let's go. I say I don't want to see, as if I can see you. You could be doing anything. You could be resting, for all I know. Good. Notice the little squeeze that Dots is giving us on the end range lift-off. She's not satisfied with just lifting and collapsing. Lifting, pausing, coming down. That's owning your range. 10 seconds. Excellent work, team. You've got 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Great job. You've got about 40 seconds to recover before we go into our intra-set work, meaning between sets, which is a fancy word making me sound smart. If it's not long enough to rest, then you can press pause. That's the beauty of the pre-record. All right, we've got 3 drills. We've got a wall hollow, a toe reach, and a diamond. A wall hollow, this is my wall here, okay? So you choose anything. Push, so you're at max extension with the arm, and the hand is braced into the wall. All right, from here, you're gonna posterior tilt of the hips, drawing them down to flatten your spine and lift your legs off the floor. If your lower back is not flat on the floor, you pull one knee in. If it's still not flat, you pull both knees in. Push the wall, okay? And if you're on the legs out, push your legs away. It's like a banana. This is your handstand position. 20 seconds of max engagement is enough. Then you're gonna lift your toes towards you, get up and over, okay? Don't worry if your legs are here. If they're much further, bend your knees a bit more, okay? After that, you have diamond handstands. Think sumo squat. That's position with the legs. You're gonna start from your squat of any sort. Big hands on the floor. Round 1, if this is your first time ever trying this, all I want you to do is lift your heels, take your shoulders forward, come back. Lift your heels, take your shoulders forwards, come back. If you've got a bit more daring than that, you're gonna lift your bum off the heels, shoulders forwards, come back, okay? If you feel like you've got a bit more, and please don't feel you can do it because you're just confident, then you're gonna push, connect that, lift the feet, tap the feet, come back down. Okay, that could be there, okay, or it could be up higher, all right? Got 40 seconds of those, and then recover. Alrighty. I said you had 40 seconds, it was 90. Generous. 20 seconds of a wall hollow, all right? Press the wall, tilt the hip, and go, lift the feet. Now, if your lower back's not gluing into the floor, pull one knee in, like so. Great job, you've got 5 seconds. If it's still too hard, pull both knees in, 3. Going straight into toe taps, 2. 1, lift the legs, point the toes down, reach. Dorothy has got mad flexion at the hip here. Don't worry if your legs aren't as tight to you as there. If they are though, you're gonna try and grab for your heel. Nice. 7, 5, that was a thanks coach, it's already hard enough moment. 2, 1, relax there. I love do as I say, not as I do, it's the best. Okay, diamonds. So option 1, remember, just shoulders over wrists. Option 2, shoulders over wrists, bum away from heels. Option 3, start pushing. 2, 1, let's go. 40 seconds. It's not how many reps can I do, all right? It's how many quality reps can you do. If you're worried about tumbling forwards with the diamond, just do it in front of a wall. Nice. You're on camera, you do your best reps for camera. When I talk about push the floor, that's so important with diamond. Push the floor. Nice. 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice, relax there. Great job. I always say, and I've said it throughout this course, when it comes to anything handstand, like handstand is the cherry on top of the gluten vegan pie. The pie is the important bit. For a handstand, that is strength through the shoulders, shoulder stabilization, wrist mobility, trunk control, core capacity, and everything like that, all right? The actual shape itself is just like a little victory dance to yourself. Let's go again, wall hollow. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So both knees in if it's impossible, both legs out if you're feeling extra. If you're somewhere in the middle, pull one knee in. Imagine there's like a pad underneath your lower back and you're trying to push down as much force into that pad as possible, or you're trying to crush something, all right? A grape, try and snap it with your lower back. Pushing the wall as hard as you can for another 4, 2, 1. Legs in, toe taps. Find this control. Nice, gang, great job. 12 seconds. Excellent work, excellent work. Keep with it for 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Great job. Diamonds, choose the right version. The one thing to look out for is if you are kicking up, don't bend your elbows, okay? Like here, all right? You need to push the floor. That's why this drill is so good for staying locked out. And you push the floor and find it. All right, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The drills are what get you there. Nice, that's great rep. The drills are the pie. Nice. Yeah, great rep. 20 seconds, team. Remember, it's not as many reps as you can do. It's the quality. Vivo will soon be releasing handstand pie. It's the latest product. Yay! See, the drills get there. 7 seconds. Proof in the pudding. 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Nice, great job. We've got one more round of that. That was slick. I know you don't run on your hands or do live on your hands very often, hence why the drills are the most important bit, because those are things reflect to everything. But there is something so satisfying about having a moment pause upside down. 2, 1, let's go. Drive it through. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Fight. Can you squeeze your groins together if you've got both legs? Imagine trying to crush something between your legs. Name another fruit. There's a grape under your back, there's something between your legs. Squeeze them. Push that wall even harder. 3, 2, 1. Toe taps. Excellent. Beautiful job, everybody. You've got another 15 seconds in here. And then we've got last set of diamonds. We're just going to do 20 seconds for that last set of diamonds, which is probably 3 or 4 reps. 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Shake it out. 10 seconds. Think about that core control of that hollow when you're in your diamond. All right? It is a real skill to be able to spread the legs into external rotation whilst maintaining that position. But if you can, it's going to make everything much better. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good. Nice. Just 10 seconds. 3, 2. Relax there. Great job. Nice. Rest it up whilst I explain our next set. We've got another 3-station strength set. This one's going to be a little bit quicker than round 1 before we have a small area to finish. For this one, we're going to be using a box and a chair. I put 2 chairs here because if you are at home, you can use 2 chairs instead of a box. All right. Exercise number 1 is a dip. All right. And a dip is hands on the box behind you. You're going to step your feet out, either onto straight leg with your heel or bent knee. Okay, straight leg is harder. The main thing here, I want you to hug your elbows towards the side of your body. You then graze your butt down the box and drive up. Depending on the range for your shoulders, you might be able to get your bum right the way down, but please be careful. If you're not used to doing this stuff, just find a range that works for you, okay, and extend them out. If you want to advance that, you're going to grab a chair or another box if you're in the gym, or a bench. Put your heels up on there and drive through. All right. If you are competent enough to do full dips, and that is a possibility at your gym, by all means do a full dip. All right. That is exercise number 1. We're going to do that for 30 or 40 seconds. All right. So 30 seconds level 1, 40 seconds level 2. Then you're going to have a quick changeover. You're going to turn around towards your box. Set your heels on the box. This is a hamstring bridge of 3 levels. Bum is a bit behind my knee, all right? So I want it to be hamstring dominant and not too glute dominant. If my bum's too far in, it's gonna be more bum dominant, all right? First one, hands are by your side, so my elbows are locked to the floor. lifting my bum about 3 inches off the floor and pressing my heels into this box about 75%. If the box wasn't there, my heel would hit my bum. You should feel your hamstrings start to fire. 15 seconds, you then lift your hips a little bit higher, but not all the way to extension. Push down at 85%, 15 seconds, and then lift your hips as high as you can. Push into your heels at 100%. You should really feel your hammies screaming. If it's too much, just do what you can. If you need to use your hands to get up into full extension, do so, all right? So that's exercise 1 and 2. Exercise 3 is a Cossack lift-off. I'm going to drop into one side. You're going to do one round on one side, second round on the other, and then you're going to mix it up. You're going to drop into one leg, into a lateral lunge. Might just be here. You might drop all the way in. You then push away. As you load onto stabilize through your other leg, you lift that leg up there. You drop in, push away, lift. Trying to get into that abductor at the side of the body, responsible for abduction, meaning taking away from the body. Lift, step out and load. All right? We're going to start in 20 seconds with our dips. All right? So I'll call out a 30-second and a 40-second. If you're doing the 40-second, you're only going to literally have like 5 seconds to turn around and get into the hamstring bridge. Okay, we are going in 7. Remember, hug the elbows, lock them in, bend the knees if you need a bit of help. Straight legs if it's easy. 2, 1, let's go. If it feels really easy, you elevate the feet. All right, but please be careful. If this is, again, new to this sort of range for your shoulder, we are taking those shoulders into end range, and it's going to ask a lot. Good. Nice, that's great job. Notice how her bum is coming like down the box. If it comes too far away, you're taking your shoulder even further out of range, all right? That's why I like the bum to slide down, okay? If your bum slides forward, you start trailing. That's 30 seconds. Option to rest there. That's 35. 2, 1. That's 40. You've literally got 5 seconds to turn it round. Bum sets behind heels, okay? Perfect. And 2, 1. Lift your hips about 3 inches off the floor. Lock your elbows down. Pushing down into your heels about 75%. So you're starting to go, okay, that's my hamstrings. All right? 3 seconds time, you're going to lift your hips up by another 3 inches. 2, 1. Lift them up by another 3 inches. Not quite a lockout. Pushing down through your heels about 85%. Just pull your toes towards you slightly. That's good. Pressing down a little bit harder for 5. And we're going to come into full extension, hips as high as they can. 2, 1. Let's go. Squeeze up. Now push down into that box as hard as you can. Only you know if you're actually pushing it down. And this drill is only going to really work if you are pushing it down. This is an isometric drill for your hamstring in end range. It's glorious for all capacity of movement. 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. People always want to get like more flexible and think about how can I bend. Lack of range is often a sign of weakness. Okay, so it's your body knows you're weak and it can't get into that space. Cossack, step out and lift off. One leg to start with. 2, 1. Let's go. Drop into the leg. Then push onto stance leg, lift. Step into leg, push into stance leg, lift. You almost want to feel like a bit crampy on the outside of your right butt cheek if you're lifting the right leg. Left cheek if you're lifting that leg. Nice, you just got 10 seconds. Beautiful, you've got 5, 3, 2, 1. Rest there. Just 10 seconds rest, we're back to dips. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Remember, if you do have the capacity, if you are in the gym, to use proper dip bars and you know that you're going to be safe there, by all means do so. Otherwise, stay as you are. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, dips. Other way of making them harder, remember, is to elevate the feet onto a chair and therefore taking more of the weight through the arms. If you want more of the weight from the legs in this position, you just straighten them out. If it's fine, you bend them. Remember, working the range that feels good for you. You want to feel like, okay, I'm at end range, but you don't want to feel like, holy moly, this is going to tear. That's 30 seconds. Options carry on to 40. If you feel like your chest bone is like ripping apart, you need to do more chest mobility. 3, 2, 1. Relax. There on your back in 5. 3 inches off the floor to begin with. 2, 1. Let's go. 3 inches off the floor, pushing down through the heels at about 75%. Now, I know, these percentages things are kind of tricky to do, especially when you're not used to it. For 75%, you're not pushing down as hard as you want in the box, but you still want to leave an imprint on it. For another 4, you're going to lift those hips about 3 inches. 2, 1. Lift them. You're not quite a lockout, so meaning your hips are still lower than your knees. You're pushing down about 85% here. Here you want to leave an imprint that lasts a little bit longer. You've got 7. Remember, you can use your hands to help you get into full extension. 2, 1, let's go. Notice how Dot has got her hips higher than her knees here. That means she can achieve full extension through that position. If you aren't able to achieve that, that's again something to work on. Don't judge where you are now, but know, okay, that's something I've still got to get to. 5, pushing down at 100%. 3, 2, 1. Relax there. On our feet, Cossack lift off on the other side. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We drop in, we push away onto stance, lift. Nice. Awesome. Dottie did used to be a dancer, so don't feel bad if you don't lift your leg as high. Beautiful. 12 seconds. And 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work. I came from a background of like lifting a ton of heavy weights and everything through sport, and then even trailing that. And like I would have, in a public gym, I would have thought like doing a Cossack and this might be like, you know, oh, that doesn't look cool, or I don't like that. Get that out of your head, all right? Being strong in these ranges is what actually makes your body work properly, all right? Don't give a crap. Don't worry if anyone else in the bin is like, in the gym's like dropping heavy tin on the floor and making loads of noise. This stuff is what's gonna make your performance in a whole scope of life better. Last set of dips. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Nice. Beautiful. Nice. Legs extending to make it harder. You've had 15 seconds. On that note of like mobility and stuff, people are always like, oh, why do women have much better mobility than guys? 1 is partly due to just genetics, but 2 is because women tend to approach their training with far less ego than guys, right? Guys are like, if it's not making me look swole and like buff and like I'm not grunting and making noise, then it ain't working. You've had 30 seconds, so drop that ego, get rid of it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Last set of these bridges. I want you to be pushing so hard into this box this time that you're like, my hamstring might cramp. All right? 5, 3, 2, 1. 3 inches off the floor, 75% driving down. All right? Great job. Isometrically training through range. So improve your mobility and your strength through range. 5, 3, 2, 1. Lift up for 3 inches, drops down at 85%. Nice, 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 nice. You've got 7 seconds before our big push, full extension, driving down at 100%. This one, I want you to push down on that box like you mean it. 2, 1, let's go. Lift it, drive down, hard, hard, hard. Push into it, push into it, push into it. Break the box. If you're on a bench, make a dent so when you stand up, your heels, they leave that indentation. It's there for days. You've got 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Great job. Last set of Cossacks. I just want you to do low hovers. So that's going to drop into a low Cossack and then just try and hover across the other side. If you can't low hover, don't worry. You can come up and out of it. If you can stay low, stay low. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So we're going to try and stay low and hover across. If that's impossible, you come up and down. All right, so you come up out of it, back down into it. These take a lot of work, all right, to get to this space. Don't worry if your heel on your stance leg is lifting slightly. If it's lifting massively, maybe regress the movement ever so slightly. When I first started doing this, I used to love holding onto it like a wall or a bar and just settling myself into the position and living in it for a bit. 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Nice, top work. We have one more bit to do. It's just a little conditioning finisher. It's 2 exercises. You have 12 stick crunch. If you don't have a stick or a band that if you've just thrown it away in the gym and you no longer have it, or the person next to you at the gym stolen it off you, don't worry, you can use a mock one. If you do have one, take it. It can be a belt or whatever. Lying on your back, pull your knees in towards you, much like that hover where you did the 3-legged downward dog and pulled it in. This is what you're trying to create here. Pull both of them in. Take your arms over your head. Try and get it over your feet. All right? If it's impossible and you're just going, use an imaginary one. All right? Second exercise is a candlestick. Just drop that stick to the side when you're done with it. Second exercise, candlestick. From a deep sit, I'm going to roll onto your back like you did in the warm-up. Roll through. Come. This time you're going to stand up. Option to roll through onto one leg, and you can push and stand up. Or if you can, roll through onto one leg and stand. Okay? You're going to do 12 crunches, 8 candlesticks. 3 minutes, roll through them, job done. All right? We are going in about 15 seconds. I'll give you time. In 5, 3 minutes of work, not rushing through it, just seeing how many good stuff you can put together in that time. 2, 1, let's go. Nice. Dorothy's got her toes flexed, which is fantastic, meaning her ankle is pulling in towards her, working the top of her shin, which is great. If these reps need adjusting for you, by all means adjust them. If 8 candlesticks just ain't realistic for you, drop it down. Remember that you can use your hands, but try and roll through. This position that Dorothy's doing here, this crunch, that's getting into the candlestick, all right? So think about what you've taken to get into that position there. That is what it takes, fighting that belly to that thigh to find the sit and stand. Good, so just as we did in the warm-up, but this time we're standing. Excellent. You can use your hands, especially if you're trying to work towards something like a pistol squat. You can come forward onto one leg and put your hands by your side and try and push into the floor, all right? If you're somewhere towards a pistol squat or a single leg squat, nice. Another great way to do it is to stand up on both feet and try and go down on one and go down as slowly as you can, and then let your hands hit the floor and roll back, all right? 12 and 8. Just 3 minutes. You're probably looking at like 2 rounds, maybe a tad more, all right? Excellent work. So when you're doing those stick crunch, even if it's an imaginary stick, or imaginary belt, you're getting it over, think that is the exact position you're trying to roll through in that candlestick. Hugging belly into thigh, rolling through and getting through. You have just over 90 seconds remaining of this class. Beautiful. Nice. Good. Beautiful. Nice. Show an eccentric down. Down and roll. Yeah. Great job. So often coming up from a pistol squat is harder than coming down. Pistol squat meaning single leg squat. So working the way down, that eccentric phase is much easier. All right. So it's a great way for building stability. There's so much more at play though than just like strength there. If you don't have the ankle capacity to get into that position, it's going to be really hard. When you roll through in that candlestick, try and pull your heels towards your bum and stamp into the floor. Nice. This is another one you get spat out of sometimes. You try and stand up and just go, bloop. Nice dots. Everyone, you've got 45 seconds. Beautiful. There's your 30-second mark. Excellent work so far. Nice, you've got 20. Last candlesticks, you were hoping you wouldn't have to do it anymore. 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Great job, gang. Take a breath, have a drink of water, and we're just going to finish with a couple of shoulder openers. The first one, we're going to be kneeling on the floor, arms reaching out towards the box, and chest traveling down towards the floor. You're just going to hang out in there. You can move, and you can come in and out of it. All right, you don't have to be like stuck there. You can come in and out of it. Beautiful. Keep breathing. You're in there for another 30 seconds. Like I said, you can move in and out of it. But if you were the person who couldn't get the stick very high behind your head, all right, on the overhead squat, or when you're on your front trying to lift your arms off the floor in that end range lift off, this is a great one for you. Another 7 seconds, then Dot's going to put yourself on your bum, toes facing towards the box. 2, 1. Nice, on your bum, toes facing towards the box. And you can take the hands behind your back into a chest opener. Cool. So this is a pretty big chest and shoulder opener for those dips. The longer you are in this position, the more stress you have. You can shuffle your bum forward or your hands further back. This is a pretty advanced position, shall we say. You're in here for another 30 seconds. Again, if you've not done this before, I would advise walking in, taking the stress out, and then walking back. Okay, I don't want you to feel like super tension through your elbows or through your shoulder. If you're new to it, just come out of it for a second, and then come back in. Nice. Just for another 10. For another 7. 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Nice. You all right? Good. All right, gang, thank you so much. Great work. I hope you're starting to piece some of this together now. I always speak at a million miles an hour when coaching, trying to say a lot, but that is because there is a lot to understand about this. But the more you can conceptualize why you're doing things, the better you can start putting things together. Well done, and I'll catch you on the next one.